Well, once upon a time not so long ago, while the work was getting done and the day's end began to flow, there was a short, long room with windows of 3, one for each wall so the light was easy to see. And in that room sat a person in a chair. The chair was red and leaned back, and their feet rested in the air. The days were long and the work was hard. Tired fingers, tired mind, tired eyes were the reward. And on that person who sat on the chair lived a laptop on the lap of feet, resting in the air. And as those feet rested, and as that chair leaned, and as those fingers worked, working harder was the machine. Squares made of black and jacket of shiny silver, a large glass panel that shone and glimmered. A magic window to the world, not the windows on the wall, but a window that could show anything to anyone's beck and call. But underneath it all were strips of metal and wire, and the hungry chips and fans and lights that devoured all the power. And as that power was chewed and worked, it belched heat and spun fans to move the air with every spin they took. Well, as those things all did what they did, it seemed the sun had run its course, and behind the hills it almost hid. And as that sun slid behind the hill for the day, the shadows began their march, and with the light began to play. Those two will play hide and seek for an hour or so before Light has to be home for dinner, you know. Well, anyway, I digress. That is for a different story. This one is about the laptop on the chair, well, on the lap of the person who sits in the chair, the person in the chair with their feet in the air. Such a tired afternoon, fingers sore and eyes glazed, ticking and twitting and tapping away so much to finish so much by the end of the day. And so cold it gets with Light shuffling home, but the laptop, funnily enough, it gets, well, kind of warm. And it was then the pitter-pitter comes, signalling the end of the day, off to the left with a twitch and hopefully no spray. In comes their best friend, Stormy the Kitten, to say she's hungry and misses them, and that she wants to play. And with a twitch of her nose and flutter of her tail, Stormy adds yet another layer to the stack in the chair. So the chair and the person and the laptop with tired fingers get to end the day with a wet kitty nose and a face full of tail and whiskers. Well, this is a conundrum, mix of paws, tails and fur, and black keys and shiny metal and heated fans as they were. How to type, how to pet, how Stormy needs to rest as she twirls and turns and settles on the person's chest. But aha! A final resting place is found as Stormy makes her way out to their knees to lay down. Now the laptop comes close, the person bathes in its soft light, as Stormy settles in, having found a perfect place to alight. For you see, this odd group together well blends. One person on a chair with their feet resting in the air, one laptop on a lap, drinking power and showering heat there, and one kitten snuggled by the exhaust fans as they were. Funnily, of course, as our story winds down, to say, with the warmth of the laptop and exhaustion of the day, now that Stormy has fallen asleep, seems 2 others are on their way. The warmth of a resting cat brings a still peace to the day, and that warmth plus the laptop soon dozes the person away. And as they both sleep with the typing now stopped, so too does the laptop spin down and to sleep in its spot. For you see, dear viewer, all days start and they end. May yours start with hope and with a friend do end. May happiness and warmth and peace find you on this night.